When I talked about WordPress a bit last week, I mentioned how it was originally designed as a blogging system. So by default, our bits of data that we have inside of our post are things like our title, the content, some categories, tags, and a featured image. And then beyond that, we don't really have any extra bits that we can attach to it. So what if we wanted to do that to, say, with our food menu item, add maybe a spice level or a list of ingredients? Where would those go? Well, what we can use to take care of that for us is something called custom fields. And these allow us to attach extra bits of data to our posts. So to take an example that is different from what we're building, if we look at the super high about page, and we scroll down a little bit, this is our lovely team here. So each member, they have a name, they've got a role in the company, a location, a bio, a Twitter link, and an Instagram link. These are all separate pieces of data. And inside of our standard WordPress format, we wouldn't be able to support all of these different bits. So we've kind of taken the example of what we have on the site, and this is how we would do it. We would add some custom fields to our posts to allow us to add things like a role, location, and then we can just use things like the title for our names, the content for the bio, and then the post thumbnail for our photo. So how do we go about adding these? Well, hard coding them is one way to go. So similar to what we have just done with our functions.php and our custom post types, we can add things manually, but it gets a little bit tricky as our site grows and we have lots of custom data. Also means it's difficult for our clients to manage and update. So instead, we can use a plugin for this. Now, the plugin that we're going to use is called Advanced Custom Fields, and it's perhaps one of the most popular WordPress plugins for kind of doing more advanced things with your content. So the way that it works is you have a little UI that you go through and you can add all these custom fields to your posts. And the type of stuff that you can add, if we find the docs, go to field types, we can do things like have text, checkboxes, toggle things on, off and on. We can have galleries, images. It is pretty extensive, the things that this plugin can do. We're only going to use it at a very simple level this week. We're just going to be adding some HTML for our map. But the idea is that we can extend our posts to be much more than just a blog post. It can be anything that we want. So what we'll do in our next video is to install the plugin, and we're going to create some custom fields, and the custom field that we're going to create is going to be for our map. So we're going to use it at a very simple level, but just get an idea for how it works.